if we're going to be paying to promote content, which I'm all for,
Right.
we want to do it really from the ground up. All right, Colin, so tell me, how's business going?
Business is going well overall, but I could sure use some effort focusing on target clients and getting more of them.
Perfect. So maybe just for anyone watching here, what is the business? What is sort of the model?
So it's business management consulting, very intimate one-on-one, or myself with a group in some cases, and very much interactive.
Okay, and where are the clients coming from right now?
Most of it has been referral. Most of it has been, hey, I get an email from somebody, I've gotten your name from somebody else, etc. So
cool. Yeah, referrals obviously fantastic, but we're sort of out of our control, right? Like we don't have that sort of lead flow.
And that's what I talked to with a colleague the other day about. The biggest challenge right now being a one-person show is, as you can appreciate, you've got to go get the work, you've got to do the work, you've got to follow up with the work. And if you don't have confidence that the work is coming in some sort of a steady flow, it can cause you a lot of angst along the way.
Right. So then I guess in regards to marketing, the biggest challenge right now is sort of that steady, consistent flow of leads.
Predictability, getting the leads, and being confident that you're doing the things that you need to do to get them.
Really, it's going to come down to figuring out like what you've done thus far that's been successful and sort of doubling down on that. And the fact that you've got referrals coming in already, like there are ways to sort of accelerate the referrals and really sort of basically allow them to create more referrals. Make sense?
Sure. Tell me a bit more about it though.
Okay, so basically right now, if you have clients already, which you do, and we're looking for just 2 to 3 more, essentially, like this should be a pretty simple marketing concept, and that all we probably need to do is tap into the market just a little more and sort of facilitate more referrals. So basically just reaching out to existing clients or past clients and really just kind of greasing that greasing the wheel.
Yeah, that's an effort I put in the last little while, is putting more focus on people that I've worked with in the past, people I've talked to that might, have had experience with this kind of work, etc. And just, nudging them along, if you will.
Do you have a process that you're using right now to sort of get those referrals? Like when you follow up, what you script out, what you send them?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident I've got a process. I mean, I'm sure it can be improved, but I've got, I've got things laid out for every week. I need to follow up with these people. Here's the approach I'm taking to the conversation. Here's be clear on what I'm looking for, etc. And then being disciplined and following up on that.
That said, I mean, like with the referrals, do you have I think we talked about this before, it was like a hero page to send people to? We probably don't have that built into yet.
No, we don't. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so basically what happens is the way that we really encourage referrals is obviously we reach out to the network, which is kind of obvious, and we follow hey, can you give me a referral in a better way than that? But really the key in sort of converting those referrals is by having somewhere to send them that like really clearly articulates the offer, previous testimonials, case studies, results, essentially everything that they're going to get by working with you. And it almost becomes like a sales page that's somewhere between cold people that have no idea who you are and those warm people that know you and already like you and trust you. And so when we sort of build this like almost kind of like a one-page funnel, it just really sort of speeds up the referral process.
That's interesting because I've agonized over about whether to revamp the website to accommodate some of those same things, taking some of the video content that I've created, trying to figure out where to plant that within the website to be useful, etc. But it sounds like maybe that's a more simplified approach.
Yeah.
That might be more effective. Leave the website sort of standing alone.
Yeah.
And create something as an add-on.
Basically,
That's meant for that reason specifically.
Perfect. Yeah, that's an excellent point, because when most people think about websites, right, they think of them holistically, like all the pages and the about page and the services. When it comes to marketing, and specifically like campaign specific marketing, so like a referral campaign or a lead gen campaign or whatever it is, we always want to focus on just the page itself. So like pretty much never the website. And the reason is if we send someone to our website, they get way overwhelmed because there's too much to see and too many buttons to click. So we always want to be very congruent with what we're asking and where we're sending them. So I think in this case, a referral page would be perfect for that.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I'll reinforce your comment about people getting overwhelmed or lost. You can track through Google Analytics the behavior on the website, and you can see you keep them for about 2 clicks in, and then they all drop off. Without a doubt. And you say, well, why didn't they go to the next step? And I think you're right. They only are going to invest so much time.
Yeah,
then
that's
off
it.
they go.
Especially and they'll invest less time if they come to a broad or sort of general view of what you do.
Right.
And they'll invest a lot more time if they get to a very specific page
Right.
that clearly identifies their problems, how you're positioned to solve them. So yeah, these referral pages are fantastic.
Okay.
And really all I would do there is just have it so it clearly, again, sort of states out your offer, shows some testimonials, and gives people that next step to take with you. So whether they fill out a form or book a spot on your calendar, whatever they need to do.
Right. Okay.
Social media stuff.
Yes.
How's that going? How's
So it's what's interesting about social media is so I've got a LinkedIn profile, and it looks like and feels like I'm getting more response or uptick on things I post on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Than the things I post on Facebook.
Okay.
Now, if we boost it on Facebook, we'll obviously get more people engaged.
Right.
But my sense is that they're way out there somewhere.
Perfect.
The LinkedIn group, again, are people, engagement from people I know, and so I'm trying to think of ways to leverage that and those people that I know and give them more. So that they can give it to other people, in other words, right? Because if they like it or share it, etc.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that you sort of clued in on that one, because really what's happening is we're seeing this algorithm sort of switch between different platforms, whereas LinkedIn now is like what Facebook was years ago.
Right.
Which means that all the organic content that you're putting out there, the stuff that you're not paying to promote, is getting way more reach. So because you're in that B2B space, you're serving other business owners, yeah, it's a fantastic platform. Now there's some downsides with it in that it's like you constantly have to prime the pump with LinkedIn.
Right.
It's like it's just a beast that needs feeding like all the time. So
well, another little thing I've found, I think on your recommendation, was to place video directly into the platform versus link it through your YouTube channel. The response rate is significantly higher. You can see that trend immediately as soon as I started putting video straight in.
Absolutely,
that more and more people were watching it.
That's going to be the same almost with any platform you use, is they just love, we call it native content. So it's like content that looks like it belongs on the platform.
Right.
And when you sort of follow their rules and understand them, yeah, fantastic. But I want to switch to Facebook because you mentioned boosting the post on Facebook, which maybe I haven't slapped your hand yet on that one, but I'm so anti-boosting posts.
Okay.
And the reason is because it's such a it's a reactionary marketing plan rather than a responsive or a planned strategic approach. And what typically happens is that we get this false sense of security when we boost something. So that's sort of the psychological aspect, is like, yeah, I'm marketing, and because I boosted it and more people are going to see it. The reality is that it's sort of like this ad hoc sort of reaction to whatever's happening, and the other side is that it's just not a very effective strategy. And that typically, if we're going to be paying to promote content, which I'm all for, we want to do it really from the ground up. Like identify who's our target market, what is the exact message I want to send them, where do I want to send them, back to the reference of that landing page again, and map it all out. Because that way, when all's said and done, we're going to be able to say, was I successful or not?
Right.
And where most people happen is they pay $10, $20, $100, nothing happens. Did it work? I guess not. Wow, Facebook sucks. So
Right. Yeah, I agree with the false sense of security, because you see things happening, but it's not the right things maybe.
That's it, yeah. Right? So the analogy I always use is that likes don't equal revenue. And so it's like you can't feed your kids with likes. So yeah, it feels good, right? But these vanity metrics are very misleading, and they sort of egg you on and get you to do it. They make it very easy. Instagram has the promote button, very similar.
Right,
so all these things. Anyway, that aside, I think an organic content strategy like you've been using with LinkedIn is fantastic. I'd keep it up if you can, but yeah, it does take a lot of priming.
Right. So starting in the fall, I'm going to be putting Colin Sauer Consulting in this magazine. Yeah. Now I'm not certain how exactly that should look. So, I don't have a lot of experience with that part either. I just believe that when people open that magazine up, and if they can see that I'm connected with it, that just has to mean something positive for my brand.
Okay, right on. Yeah, so the keys with sort of print or offline or traditional or whatever we want to call it, there's the same as digital. Really, it all comes down to identifying who's going to be the readers of the magazine or of the publication. and then making sure that of the demographic, it matches with the people that you're trying to reach.
Right.
And once you've established that, sort of taking into consideration the way that they're going to consume the publication. So for example, like when we're talking about social media, they're whipping through it lightning speed, where now they're probably going to be sitting reading it maybe at a lawyer's office, a doctor's office, on a ferry, like wherever they're going to be getting it. So we can afford to go longer and more explanatory, and we can really kind of flesh out a picture. Now, the content itself is going to be, again, very similar to what we would do online or with a blog, and it'll be this sort of advertorial approach where it's going to be a largely educational based content, but we definitely need to include a call to action at the end. And that call to action is probably, back to our landing page, is going to drive them somewhere online. And the reason we do that is that so we can track it. And that way we're able to see, all right, of the people that saw this many took action, this is the action they took, and again, through analytics, we can just see what they did.
So do you have some thoughts around sort of, I've got a fairly, beefy process, I'd call it, around strategic planning, trying to get that into a singular advertisement in a magazine, as well as a call to action.
Right.
I mean, it just seems like we're trying to do a few things.
Yeah.
So you have some advice on how to keep that simple and straightforward?
Yeah, let's look. Yeah, because we probably don't have like 20,000 words here to flesh out a book and send it. Plus, it's overwhelming.
Yes.
So the way that I think about it here is sort of like perfect setting for this, but it's like an oceans and rivers and streams analogy. So the ocean is your business. This is everything you do, that entire process. The streams might be, the rivers might be the services that you offer, whether it's strategic planning or helping someone with hiring. And then these streams that feed into them, that's kind of the hooks or the angles or the pain point that you're going to solve.
Right.
So the worst thing you could try to do is say, this is what I do, I help people with all of these different things, and here's all this, because you're just going to overwhelm them.
Right.
When in reality, what you probably want to do is identify the 1, 2, or 3 main problems that your market faces, and then pick those apart through different articles. So it's like, look, if you've got this problem and you're this type of business or person, here's how you solve that. And then you fill it all in, and then at the end you say, look, for some people this is enough, for others you may want a more personalized, customized approach. Feel free to click this link, fill this out, do whatever you need to do.
So I'm sure you'd agree it's always a fine line between painting that picture in people's mind and having to explicitly lay it out for them.
Yeah.
In other words, when you sort of say, here's the ocean, so you're Colin Sauer Consulting, business management consultant, here's the river, here are the things that I provide, strategic planning, people management, et cetera, those 2 or 3 things. And then here are all these streams. So, what are those hooks that you paint the pain point for them without being explicit about what that is.
Right. So yes, you want to be explicit about the pain point, but the way that you solve it is going to be different. So essentially what happens when we're doing content marketing, when we're creating any kind of content, we always want to explain the what and the why, but not the how.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily to hold something back or to not give them everything. It's just because that's what your business is the how. So you'll explain like what their pain points are, what they're going through, what the problem is they may be facing, why this is important, why they should care, why they should take action, and really sort of flesh that all out for them. And then of course the how is, for some this is going to be enough. You can go kind of fill in the blanks, and for others, we're here to solve it for them.
Do you rely on your own authority, or I'm going to go on a tangent maybe, but just bringing in some sort of statistic around something to say, look at, businesses that entertain this sort of thing have a higher likelihood of succeeding.
Totally.
Is that important?
Yeah.
Or is that too overwhelming for people to capture?
It's incredibly important. And the reason is because we would call that, in your argument, that would be either your proof. Let's cover that right now, actually, because what happens is when you're kind of writing this out, you're going to make a statement. This is going to be a claim. If you don't back it up with proof, it's just your opinion. It's just a claim. And so people can be like, all right, maybe. That's just what he says. So we always want to back it up with sort of make that claim, provide some proof, then give the benefit of that. So it's like claim, claim, proof, benefit.
Okay.
And essentially when we do that, it allows you to sort of paint the picture and do it properly. Same thing kind of goes when we're talking about features and benefits, is that people always want to they take one of 2 camps. It's either all features, like it has this thing, it does this, and nobody cares because they don't know why.
Right.
Or they go all benefits, and they're like, it'll make you smarter and faster and cooler, but it's not believable because they don't have any features. Okay. So it's like we always have to marry the 2 together. Alright, I hope you found that conversation valuable. If you'd like to have a chat about your business, then I've placed a link to the side of this video, which is going to take you to my Work With Me page, and it's going to give you a few different options about what working together might look like so you can find the best one for you. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on The Marketing Show.